this is Elizabeth and Elton.
Greetings. Hi, everybody.
Brewington
How are you?
with Discover
Hello.
Brightside, a video podcast and network. And we have had an incredible time. We are doing 30 speakers and 12 sessions, all to empower you on prosperity. We have been on this emotional intelligence journey for the last 4 months. As all of you know, that we record once a month and we bring you such incredible speakers. We're living in times when everything is changing and no one person is an expert on anything and nobody knows what's going to happen. So bringing people together, and as a community we have a stronger voice and we have um, beautiful things, and then we help you get discovered on our show. So today we're discovering Beccy and Brooke, and we hope you're going to enjoy these live talk interview style. And let us know, write us a comment and subscribe, because we live on your subscriptions. So I'd like to introduce Brooke Triplett, and she's from Bali, actually originally from Australia. And Brooke is the founder of She Sells with Brooke, a recruitment and education company that trains women to launch successful careers in sales with guaranteed job placement in top coaching and professional search firms. And what's very interesting about her is she has 33,000 followers and more than 6,000 women for her 5 day freedom sprint. And she has built a company from bootstraps to 8 million in revenue. So we will hear from her. And then I have one of my favorites, because we're doing designers, and we have Beccy Dickson from the UK, and she's a British designer and founder of branded Biophilia, and it's a sustainable design studio creating immersive plant-based experiences for brands and events, from London Fashion Week to Amazon Fresh and Facebook activations. And she's known, and this is what we want to talk to her about, she's known for her signature living walls and her circular design of ethos. So welcome both of you, and I'll
Thank
start with um, Beccy.
you. Hello.
So Beccy, tell us all about these living walls and this fabulous journey that you've been on.
Oh my goodness. Well, it is fabulous. I'm grand old age of 46, and I've found my reason for being, if you like, the thing that I love doing. And it was about 3-4 years ago. We had a customer come to us. We used to run a printing company, and we had a customer come to us and ask us to brand a living wall. And it just stemmed from there, really. We decided that that was what we could do. We as you know, printing is very unsustainable, and it just took us into the sustainability market, and we just sort of developed that product. Sadly, my printing company actually liquidated a few years ago, but what we've done is we've brought the two together, and so we have this sort of niche where we can brand living walls. We've always worked in events, so we always put together activations. So the wackier the better. My colleagues hate me because I'm always like, yeah, let's do this. This is crazy. We can do this. We can do that. They're like, but we've got to build these things. So that's kind of, what we do, just as mad as possible, and bring some imagination, creativity, and all sustainable, and working to a circular model, which is, every job that we do, we always bring the plants back. We look after them in our nursery on site. We always reuse the plants, always. So every job, whether they're fillers or front facing, they'll always have plants from the last job and the last job and the last job. And the same with the materials. Our living walls are built from wood, and they're like Lego bricks, actually, and they stack together. So everything's reused over and over again, and that's how we work. Yeah, trying to look after our beautiful planet and give back. Oh, I can't hear you.
You're muted.
Yep.
You are
That
so
always
you
happens.
are so amazing because I go to a lot of these conventions and trade shows in America, and I get disgusted with all that paper and all that waste. And
Oh,
when they take it all down, it's going straight to the landfills, and
absolutely.
people
I'm,
spend so much money on these backdrops. So
yeah,
this is fascinating that you are doing a sustainable version of it. And I think I saw it with, I think it was James Bond, and I'm not sure, I don't want to be quoted wrong, but it was a red carpet event, and I did see, trees, and I was like,
yes,
you know,
yes,
this is
definitely. They seem
the
to
new
be,
thing.
they're coming, yeah, I think real plants are starting to come back into fashion, I want to say, and I'm hoping they're going to stay into fashion. Plastic plants, I mean, what is plastic plants all about? And you're so right. And actually, I feel sometimes I feel like a bit of an, I don't know the right words, but I'm going to these events and I know full well that all the carpets going into the trash, or all of the,
Yes,
there's so much waste, so much waste. We are doing our little bit and we're doing what we can, and obviously we work with a lot of other people who are doing the same thing, but it's a dip in the ocean. It's terrifying, and events are
terrifying.
notoriously bad.
And I think it's because we have these vain people, and they look at
Mm.
plants limping or dying, and they go like, oh,
I'd like to think we
So
don't
they
have too
like,
many of
oh,
them.
I go to people's houses and they have these gigantic artificial plastic. And I'm like, why would you not want to grow something?
Honestly, and I've even read articles where people claim that they get the same health benefits from plastic plants as they do from real plants. I mean, come on,
Yes,
please.
I know, I know,
No.
I know. So yeah, so I mean, this is cutting edge. You're redefining an area that is much needed. We
Absolutely,
need to
yeah.
adopt you and clone you and bring you to the US, and so
Love
that
that.
we don't have so much waste out here. So I'm going to switch over to Brooke. And Brooke, everybody is so worried about the economy right now. And I don't know if you know, but the US has a government shutdown. People are losing their jobs, and you're selling. So this is quite amazing. So tell us a little bit about the sales industry, and you're recruiting for the sales industry as well. So tell us a little bit about, just the world of sales, and your story is pretty incredible. So we'll get deeper into it as well.
Yeah. Thank you for having me, first and foremost. I think what's really exciting right now is that the one thing that humans are going to continue to need through this economy and through the introduction of AI and it becoming more prominent in our day-to-day lives is human connection. So there was a big boom in during COVID, and we saw a lot of industries pivot to online. They were sort of forced to. It wasn't by choice. And what that opened up was a lot of positions for remote sales teams to sell on behalf of the business owner. And there was a massive shortage of women. And something that women do extremely well is connect with people. They have incredible emotional intelligence. They're able to read between the lines, and that makes them incredible salespeople. But unfortunately, there's such a stigma around sales and what it actually means for a lot of people because of negative experiences. You ask any single one of my women, what do you think of sales? And they say sleazy salesman, caught out in the shopping center, icky, manipulative. They say all of these things and they really carry that experience. So it really deters them from exploring a career in remote sales, though it is the one skill that can open up so many doors and really create that time, location, and financial freedom. So, in a world of uncertainty right now, the one thing that is in demand is human connection and people that are able to communicate at a high level. So, high ticket sales is booming, and there are so many business owners. We work with 200 businesses plus directly where we're placing women into these roles, and it's giving them not only the ability to reach that financial freedom, but it's giving them back time with their families and actually not missing those milestones. So it is, the industry is booming. You're on mute.
I, I
Oh, there we go.
I really think that women, play a massive role in sales. I mean, we are more convincing, and so I'm so glad that you're getting behind that. and helping people get promoted. So let's start with your journeys, and I'm going to add her to the spotlight as well.
That's better.
So
It's
Brooke,
not
tell
just
us
me.
a little bit about your journey. I mean, how did you start on this incredible trip that you uh, became an entrepreneur? And just tell us how did this all happen?
So I have been fortunate enough to see my dad. I grew up watching him be an entrepreneur. So I've always been fascinated by running a business. One of my earliest memories is of me dancing in a mirror, and he bought me a power suit. And I so vividly remember it. It's this black jacket, these black pants, and I had this gray metallic shirt. And he's got a video of me dancing in front of the mirror saying, I'm a businesswoman. So it's something that I have always wanted to be. And I kind of lost my way when I went to school because we're conditioned to believe that we have to go to uni and, plug ourselves into the matrix. So I did exactly that, went to uni, got a degree in education, worked as a teacher for 10 years. 10 years I worked in a primary classroom. And I had a moment where I was sitting on the floor and I was reading the book, the same book that I'd read the previous day and the day before that because the kids loved it. And I just had this moment where I was like, this is going to be my life for the next 40 years. And I wasn't okay with that. I felt like I'd lost my way. I was out of alignment with what I really wanted to do in this world, which was create impact. So I started looking for opportunities to, I guess, start my career in business. I had no idea it was going to be sales, by the way, even though my family had always said to me, I can sell ice to an Eskimo and all those things that you hear. What I didn't realize was how much of a skill set sales actually is. So sales found me in this weird roundabout way, but I landed myself a remote sales opportunity, which was selling menopausal program to women. And I'm like, this is gonna be easy. I'm a woman. I get it. I can talk. I can influence and persuade and do all those things. And within my first 2 weeks, the business owner sent me a voice note saying, hey, Brooke, I don't know who you are, but if you don't pick up your game, you're going to be out. And I've never been fired or let go from a position in my life. And I was not going to make this the first one. So I started looking for sales training. I was looking at absolutely everything. I was like, surely there's going to be a woman out there that knows how to sell, that can teach me how to sell. And I could not find one. I could not find a woman in the remote sales space that could teach me how to communicate. So I ended up learning from incredible men. However, some of the strategies that they were teaching me just felt very, very out of aligned with who I was as a person. They felt very masculine. They felt very pushy and sleazy. And I started to understand why there's this narrative that we hold about what sales actually is. And the more that I got into sales and the more that I understood communication and human psychology, I started to realize we're really good at this. We are very good at being able to connect and use our intuition and all of these gifts that we have as women. Why aren't there more people doing this? And that's what birthed She Sells with Brooke. And I now have over 1,500 women in my community actively seeking a role in remote sales, which I'm extremely proud of. And a lot of those women are absolutely thriving because they've learned how to communicate at such a high level. It really removes all the stigma and the fact that we think it's about persuading and convincing. It's absolutely not. The way that I like to view salespeople is as change facilitators. We are facilitating a change within someone from who they are to who they want to become. And that is a really uncomfortable thing to do by yourself. So where a salesperson comes in, particularly a woman, is we're able to hold that door open and say, hey, follow us. I've got you. It's okay. You're safe to take that step through. And that's the most beautiful thing about sales. That's my story in a nutshell.
Well, I have a question. So, I mean, this is amazing. It's quite fascinating. So, I'm just curious how you manage the process. 300 to 500,000 people connecting to you. How do you manage the cycle of communications? That is the most strategic element of it. And your responses to them. I mean, you must have a very sophisticated email process or something like that.
Well, we have a community on school, and I am a leader who believes that my presence within the community is important, and that's how I lead. So I'm certainly not someone who you will never see. I run 8 live sessions per week, which is one to many. So I have between 50 and 60 women, sometimes more, in a session where I'm delivering one part of the sales process. I have 6 other coaches who also, so we have 35 live sessions every single week. With all different types of coaches, from sales strategy to mindset, because we know in sales that a lot of success in sales comes from mastering the inner work and recognizing that rejection doesn't mean it's not something personal. It doesn't mean anything about you. Being able to continue to show up when things feel really heavy and really hard. So we offer all sorts of training, and I have in the school platform that I use, you can DM me, which I try to stay on top of them as best I can. But there's just a mutual understanding that I am available, but I do have boundaries that I need to put in place too, because I'm a mum. So I have a little boy that is my priority as well. So at the end of the day, my laptop goes down and I am present with him. And that's also, yeah. It's hard. I'm not going to lie. It is hard to communicate with that many women.
Wait. I'll be right with you.
Yeah.
You know, this whole podcasting world, right? Originally when people were on TV, people never got to meet celebrities in person, or there were no workshops or classes or anything. Now
Yeah.
that we are podcasters and people actually meet us on Facebook or Instagram, they want more and more access to us. And
I
so
know.
you're right, we got to put boundaries. And I was just telling my husband, we don't want to hurt people, but at the same time, you've got to really put people on a schedule.
Well, something, if I could just say also on
Yes.
that point, something that's really helped me is having a mutual understanding with my community. So right from the get-go, I make sure we speak about the values and how we together as a community all empower one another to rise. And one of our values is radical candor. And what that means is, like, at any point they can come to me and give feedback, which I will receive, but the same goes to me. So even just this week, I had to do a post in our community where I said, hey, I want to do a realignment post. I want to make sure that we're all in line with our values. Right now, I need you to cut me some slack. I am about preparing for one of our biggest events of the year. My head is just full event mode. And I apologize if it's taking a little bit longer than usual, but the double, triple follow-up messages, I see them and I see you and I've got you and I'm cheering from the sidelines. But right now, my focus is elsewhere. And when I do realignment posts like that, they are always so well received by the community because we have that mutual respect and understanding of the values within this community.
Any thoughts of micro modeling this concept in other industries? Is that a prospect?
I haven't thought about it. I mean, we're 18 months into our business journey, so we're still learning to crawl, I would say.
We'll keep case studies.
Yes.
Case studies
For sure.
and processes that way.
Because
That could be
with
great.
AI now, everything is scalable,
Right,
and you
Right.
can just grow, like
Right,
to
right.
quadruple your size very
Yeah.
quickly.
I like a piece of that action if you decide to. Perhaps you can find some solutions to help you consult your way into another. Because you're right, women in certain industries have been, kind of side modeled out of an industry sector, and they have not been
Mhm.
looked at conclusively about developing. And it's an amazing thing because, I mean, we're changing as a culture.
Yeah.
Our culture's
Right.
shifting, and we're putting, actually, we're shifting into overdrive, of what we could be and where we're going and the areas and targets. I mean, because if you're not thinking that way, thinking about the international space. The international space, there's great need that way. And so, yeah, good
Yeah. Wow.
considerations. Uh-huh.
Love it.
Yeah,
Love
absolutely.
it,
How about
love it,
that?
love it.
Mm.
And I'm going to spotlight you now. Over to you, Becky. You have worked with major brands like London Fashion Week, Amazon Fresh, and Facebook. And
Mhm.
how do you balance your creativity, sustainability with this big brands? How does that work?
I mean, I think with a lot of the big brands now, they have to be showing, that they're following sustainable and circular models. So, working with us that's one of our big selling points, I would say. Yeah.
Yeah. So tell us a little bit about London Fashion Week. What did you do for them and Amazon and Facebook?
Okay. So, well, London Fashion Week, actually, talking about the Women Network, it was with female entrepreneur I also 100. I met a lady called Victoria, and she runs Unhidden, which is a adaptable fashion brand for disabled people. And she contacted me immediately and said, I want you to do the fashion show. And it was just probably the most amazing moment of my life. I mean, I always wanted to work in fashion. You know, that just wasn't for me. I can't draw, so you know, back in the day, it wasn't quite so easy to get into that route, I don't think. And so, you know, the moment of putting up probably the nicest wall I've ever done, I think it was beautiful, and having those models posing in front of it, and I was just like, I'm there, I've done it, I've made it. So it was one of those moments in life where you know, one way or another, you'll get to where you want to get, even if it's through a different route. But yeah, so that was an amazing opportunity. Amazon Fresh, gosh, how did we? This was one of our first jobs actually, so that was quite incredible. It was a long time ago because we were doing living walls before we were branded by Affiliate. We rebranded from Eco Foundry to branded by Affiliate. So I'm not sure on the specifics. I mean, we have a lot of contacts in the industry because we've worked in events for so long. So it's actually very interesting listening to Brooke, because I'm typically one of those ladies that just hates selling. I'm just not the sales. I'm just not. I'm gonna have to speak to Brooke.
Surprised. Let me
Because
help you.
yeah, absolutely. Maybe this is all meant to be. My ex-husband, who I work with, he's basically the salesman of the company. And so he kind of deals with all that side of things. I'm more PR and, you know, all this sort of stuff, and accounts and creativity. But yeah, so he's more the salesman, really.
Mm.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
The question: did you have you modeled your London fashion show according to New York fashion show? Some similarities. I mean,
Have you?
it's an amazing show. It's an amazing show.
Yeah, yeah.
New York fashion show. I mean, so tell us a little bit about that.
Have you been to the New York Fashion Week?
No,
Really?
I'd love to.
Really?
I'm here.
Oh
So
wow.
I guess
Okay.
you can't compare them.
Oh.
No, listen, I'm ready. If anybody's watching, bring me
No,
to
no,
New York.
it's an
Yeah,
amazing
yeah.
fashion week. I
Oh
mean,
my God,
and
it
maybe
is.
there's some things that could be captured to
Yeah,
that
it
Oh
that could
yes.
benefit the growth of your model that way. I
I
mean, because fashion in London and fashion in New York and fashion globally, oh, they have some amazing indications.
Yes.
amazing. I
Uh-huh.
mean, I've just seen Stella McCartney. She's just working with a company called Feathers, and they've just developed a new thing, which is a feather, which is obviously not a feather but sustainable.
Uh-huh.
Absolutely amazing. I'm so excited about what's coming out. Passion is my other Fashion is my other passion. My daughter's at fashion college as well, so I'm very much pushing to get into that. You know, I think it
Yeah,
works. It's
I
just
think you do
beautiful.
great
I mean,
with sustainable walls
Mm,
and living walls, and I think New York would really welcome
well, I love
your design.
fashion. I love
Yeah.
it. Fashion in Brit or the UK is totally different because of the material substance and use. I mean, there's wool coming from Ireland and coming from
mm,
that area. I mean, oh, the application and what you could use it with and for, and
yeah,
how you apply it to your day to day and work schedules. It's quite fascinating. So I mean,
absolutely.
I can see your excitement about it.
Oh,
Especially
totally.
because the whole fashion industry now is talking about sustainable clothing. The fabric has to be made with less water, and
Hmm.
more thinking more about the planet. And we actually had a designer come on our show, and she really got into how much water we waste, and in producing dyes and colors, and so everybody's moving there. So why not have those living walls as well? That
Absolutely.
that would
Absolutely.
be
Yeah,
really.
I mean, you know,
Well, the city, the New York Fashion Week is fast. I don't know what London is like because I haven't been there, but the whole city opens up to Fashion Week. And they have, parties like all the time, and there's downtown, uptown, because it's a small city, so they have to make event space
yes,
to
yeah.
showcase
It's all
multiple
over the place,
brands.
like dotted
Yeah,
here, there,
I
and
know. So it's
yeah.
like all over, like the parks and everywhere,
It's
Oh,
very.
it's
that they possibly can find room to have the models do their
yeah.
walking.
Are you
Yeah.
connected to the tourism division in the UK for this?
Trying to think. I'm not sure that we have done anything.
Because the
No,
tourism division, you bring
Yes.
traffic to the UK
Yes.
for, I mean, as a matter of fact, the exchange between the US and the UK could be quite phenomenal. And you
Yes.
can reach out to the New York Fashion Week
Yes.
yeah,
do some
yeah,
exchange and get some benefit as growth. I mean, considering
absolutely.
uh,
Well, I need to speak to Brooke. She's going to teach me all this, right?
Yes. She's gonna teach us
right, right,
because
I got
visit
you. I got you.
because visit London has green spaces. That's one of the things that they work on. And
Yes.
you could be designing and dressing up the city with your living walls. So yeah, Brooke, you need to teach us some sales techniques.
Well, actually,
Absolutely.
we are. Sorry, I was just about to, we've just got through to. There's a thing that they're doing in London where they're opening up shop spaces that are not being used, and
okay.
so they're moving in sustainable companies like mine to be able to trade from them.
Oh,
So we've just got through stage one. We're on stage two. So fingers crossed, we might even be up on the high street in London somewhere soon. So that'll
wow,
obviously
Oh,
open a lot more
wow.
doors. Yeah,
Yes,
that's
that's
really
Congrats.
good.
exciting.
but make sure you take some photos and videos and share it
And
with us.
ship them to us. All
So
right.
let's
Yeah.
move the conversation. You guys are rock stars. Let's move the conversation from your stories to social media, since both of you have made phenomenal success with social media. So let's just go through each channel. So tell me what has worked for Facebook for your brands and what hasn't with Facebook. So
Who do
let's
you-
start with. Should we start with? Let's start with Brooke.
So I don't use Facebook for anything other than like ads. We run ads on Facebook. All my content that I share on Instagram is then reshared onto Facebook, and that is significantly slowed down my engagement because it's not specifically for Facebook. So what I find always goes well on Facebook is well thought out, crafted messages. So slightly longer in length, more effort put into your captions, actually thinking about rather than promoting your business, but actually talking into some of the insights you're seeing in your specific industry or sharing a win. Um, I that for me performs much better than just resharing content. Though at the moment, a lot of our audience is not on Facebook, so it's not a huge priority for us. A lot of my growth there has been organic and actually came prior to me starting She Sells. So yeah, that's what I have to say on Facebook. What about you, Beccy? Do you have
I would
anything
yeah,
to add
that
to that? Yeah.
totally totally resounds with me. I do try with Facebook, and I feel like I mean our audience is everywhere, obviously, but Facebook is difficult. I find it difficult.
Mm, hmm.
Yeah.
Well, I find Facebook really good for groups because I do a lot of videos and then I have to look at places where I can share the videos. So I created screening rooms with my groups so that, they get excited when new videos are coming up and then we watch
Mm,
them together and you get amazing feedback and great impressions on YouTube. So I cross
Mm.
sell with Facebook and my videos, and I find that I do really well with the groups. The pages seem to attract a lot of spam and crazy people.
yeah.
But I feel like you need the pages because it helps with the search engine. So you just have to monitor
Hmm.
it. But I find that it's very good for intimate, making connections with people one on one.
I call it divisionally granular. I mean, because it can get very kind of, in the minutia.
Yeah.
And if you're trying
Hmm.
to conceptualize things, I mean, and we can't afford to get lost in minutia, especially when you're selling concepts and pictures and,
Yes.
Mm.
and value add
Right.
that way. So,
Yes.
Mm.
you got to cut off the lines, otherwise you can lose things.
Now I'm
But
terrible
Mm.
at Instagram. I'm hardly on Instagram. I'm more on Facebook. So tell
Mm.
me, y'all both seem to be experts, and Instagram is more designer focused because you have a lot of designers on Instagram. The only time I'm on Instagram is High Point Market. We live in North Carolina. Is one of the
Hmm.
biggest design events for home designs. And the whole city opens up into 100 showrooms with 70,000 people visiting from all over the world, and so that's the only time I'm on Instagram, which is this weekend because of the designers and the shows that come on design. So tell me about Instagram, Brooke. What's because you're the queen, 33,000 followers. That's pretty good.
Yeah, well, I think first and foremost, like every social media app favors usage. So jumping on intermittently. And I think that's why Facebook hates me a bit because I don't use it often for anything other than just posting. So it knows that I don't actually utilize the apps for what its function actually is. So the algorithm won't push my stuff. Whereas on Instagram, I'm an avid user. I will comment on, interact with my audience. I go live, I share stories. I think something that we're really something sort of that's been working for me really well is I show up authentically. So this morning I had a pimple patch on and I'm showing up speaking on my stories. I show up rain, hail, or shine when I'm crying, when I'm because I really have noticed lately that everyone is craving people who are in touch with reality, what's going on in the economy, speaking on things instead of showcasing flashy cars and designer handbags, which is where social media, particularly Instagram, was. It's now moving away from that into real, authentic, raw, real stories, hearing about being, being vulnerable, showing up authentically. That is really landing for me on Instagram right now. So I still have an aesthetic feed that is important. Just for because when a lot of people are driven to your page through, whatever they piece of content they see on Facebook, they come to your page. So you want to have an aesthetic feed in, matching your branding colors, making sure that you've got the 3 pinned posts at the top that actually explain what you're doing, what your purpose is. But how I show up in my stories is exactly who I am. I'm in bed, I'm doing whatever, and I'm like, this is my life. Come into it.
Yeah,
And that's working really well.
yeah.
Yeah.
I think I think that you hit it on the net because people really follow you when they see your stories. And I remember when I first started podcasting, I said, oh,
Mm,
nobody came on the show, and then everybody jumped in and supported you. And that was really precious. And one time 10 years ago, I was miserable because it was my birthday and I wasn't, feeling in the mood because I didn't have a lot of friends at the time. And Facebook just blew up. I had like 600 people wishing me happy birthday. And and I was like shocked because I think that is what social media does do. So I am going to go on Instagram and follow you because I need to get better at it. Now, what about you, Becky? How's Instagram doing for you?
We're okay. I mean, I think we've got 6,000-ish followers, but I will be honest, Instagram I leave to my daughter. So she's a little whiz with stuff like that. I was saying to Brooke before, she's actually started a TikTok account for for her granddad, my dad, who's got Parkinson's, and she managed to blow it up. I mean, millions, it went completely viral worldwide. And yet she doesn't seem to be able to do that for my business. I don't know what's going on there,
Well,
but I live in hope that she'll get it right at some point. So really I leave all of that stuff to her, and I'm the LinkedIn one. I'm just kind of
Yeah,
documenting everything, writing about what I find fascinating, plants, fashion, whatever
mm,
else, really just honest, just what I want to write about. There's no real
mm,
strategy. But yeah, I think
mm.
how many followers? It's about 6,000 on LinkedIn as well, I think. So that's the one I focus on growing. And then I'm leaving Pinterest, Instagram, not so much Facebook because she's too young for that, I believe.
well,
It's for us oldies.
you guys
So
have
yeah.
outlined something very interesting because industrially, each social media platform will do different things
Mm-hmm.
and it will reach different people. And
Mm,
according to your messaging and all of that, I mean, I've thought about it, but I've never looked at it particularly. And so, from a strategic management point of view, it could mean the world of difference. Certain
Mm.
messaging goes here,
yeah,
certain messaging goes there, some over here, and also time wise.
Yeah.
According to the activity and places in the day, it's quite amazing. I mean, I'm just coming to understand and see this. This is
now
Mm.
fascinating.
this will blow your mind. So Elton doesn't do much on social media at all, but his pages blow up
Yeah, yeah.
because he ran for Congress, and so he did the politician thing, and so he's actually more famous than I am. I'm posting things and everything, but people are following him, and the moment he comes on, it's like it's dynamite, so I'm like,
I'm
what
really,
is going on over here? So
I'm
that
really a
is,
slug about
I
it. I
mean,
mean,
first luck, and
yeah.
it just could be that
I,
he doesn't show up that often, so when he does show up, his fans or followers, get behind him. So I'm like, this is
I really have
this
to get better at
break
that.
he
You
breaks
know,
the
I mean,
rules of not doing anything.
I got the devices. Now, what I've tried to do is I've tried to manage international stuff. I mean, because we travel a little bit, and
Mm.
that's a process. I
Yeah.
mean, international, the countries and the communications between them, and and if I could ever find a process to connect. But it's amazing now because on cell phones here, AT&T does it. You can do phone calls overseas.
That's right.
And I don't know how it is to receive them, but I mean, you can make phone calls, you can talk. I mean, and so I can only imagine social media is the same thing.
Yeah.
So
So let's
Mm.
move now to LinkedIn. So I have a little LinkedIn story. So I come from a corporate background. I did marketing $1 million campaigns for big pharma, for AT&T, all the big brands, the government, U.S. Census, and everything. So when I first started social media, I was very worried about jobs and people looking at my profile, and so I was very careful what I posted on LinkedIn, because I find that the people on LinkedIn are more uptight. They're all looking for jobs, they're all trying to promote their businesses. So it's really very, very corporate. But lately, I have gone very relaxed on LinkedIn, because I post my videos and I post my, announcements for my events. And I have actually got a good result, because people don't really post anything on LinkedIn. So actually, anytime you post on LinkedIn, you become pretty famous. And even my uptight friends and my higher up corporate people are actually liking my posts. So I'm like, this is new that, we're seeing some activities on LinkedIn. And I even had some people ask me for advice. So I said, this is cool. So tell me your experiences with LinkedIn. You want to go first, Brooke?
No, Becky, you seem like the LinkedIn pro, so
Oh,
you
the
can speak
LinkedIn Pro.
into.
That I did
All
not need that intro, Brooke. Thank you. No, not at all, not at all. Like I said, I mean, I think I've kind of covered it. I LinkedIn. I think what I've done with LinkedIn really is I've been building my personal brand. So I've got branded by affiliate, and then I've got me. And what I've been trying to do is build my personal brand in sustainability. And so that covers so many different subjects, not just living walls, not just sustainable design. My dog's barking, sorry.
Yeah, I heard about those dogs on one of your posts. Yeah. Yeah.
So yeah, that's really made me lose my track. So yeah, so I think it's a bit like blogging. I just like writing. I like learning. So whatever I'm learning and then passing on, I've been reading about mushrooms, for example. That's definitely in my kind of arena. We were talking about that earlier, weren't we? And
We
doing
will.
posts on all the different types of mushrooms. It's incredible. They're amazing. And you can, just to put a post up, there's something that you find fascinating and just hope that everybody else does too, like a blog or a diary. That's how I
Yeah.
look at it.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
do too. And they have some amazing tools where you can actually write a whole article on LinkedIn,
Yeah, yeah.
which I think is pretty interesting. So, Brooke, what's your experience with LinkedIn? And what's the name of
So
your dog?
and now
He's
she's sitting
Peggy.
there thinking about. She's sitting there thinking about what is the dog barking at,
I'm
and
gonna.
and is there something I need to get up for?
I know there's plenty of people here. She's very
Okay.
vocal. I'll turn it on to mute while you speak to.
um for me, I honestly, I'm a bit of a LinkedIn noob. I don't know much about it. I did attend a LinkedIn course, which was very educational in that apparently LinkedIn has a whole thing. You got to be careful of formatting and some of the things that you talk about. You always have to lead with value. At the moment, I know LinkedIn's a great place to be for earned media. A lot of journalists are on there looking for experts in certain areas. And at the moment, if you would like to get some earned media, LinkedIn's a really good place to be. You'll actually have journalists coming to you saying, hey, I actually have an article on this. I'd love to interview. So we use LinkedIn for, I have a social media manager that I work very closely with, and we find specific things about the industry that I can share insights in to really assert my expertise in the sales space. And that's sort of what we don't use LinkedIn to promote the business whatsoever. It's more about, again, building my personal brand and my expertise as a sales expert, which I think is where LinkedIn is all about, hey, look at me. This is my job. This is some of my my achievements. Like I'm an expert in XYZ, and I'm going to share insight into this today. So that's what we use LinkedIn for, to really position me as a sales expert, communication expert in working with women. You're on mute.
LinkedIn is mostly a place to find jobs. So given that you do recruiting, I'm surprised that you're not more active on LinkedIn. But I do understand, because the way I look at social media is learn one channel, learn it very well, and then try, because some people try to do everything and it becomes one hot mess. So YouTube, I'm a big YouTuber. I love YouTube. I probably watch it all the time. So what do
Yes.
you all think about YouTube? Who wants to go first?
Well,
I
can go
love
first because
YouTube.
I've got no YouTube.
Okay.
Simple. There you go. Over to you, Brooke.
All right, over to you, Brooke.
YouTube is amazing. I think, given my how clients actually find me, a lot of them come through YouTube, and it's because it's a place for them to absorb content in long form. So we're dealing with a very savvy audience now who need to trust you before they spend any amount of money, whether that be $10, $10,000, it doesn't matter. They want to know that they're paying the right person to get the job done. So about 5 years ago, guarantees didn't matter, but now they want to see people who can guarantee success. They want to know that if they spend this money, they're going to walk away with an ROI, or what is that going to look like? So people binge my YouTube content. So we have a podcast called She's Not Selling, and it speaks on every conversation that's not being had for women in business. So there's sales training on there. There are mindset things that we talk about. There are, today we filmed an episode which was the slow Pilates lifestyle that women in business say is actually a lie, and that's not what it takes to have a successful business. So we break that down and we talk about, it was a very emotional episode where I'm crying most of the time, but it's definitely not what you think business is when you go into it versus what it actually is. So we just speak transparently on that. And I feel like people really get to know me when they watch my YouTube content, and then they come onto a sales conversation and they're like, I know Brooke, I know that she likes this. I know she's got a son and she's got a husband and she's into these things. Like, they've watched hours and hours and hours of content of me. They trust me. They know what I'm about. They have a good energy about, or they can feel, hopefully, my genuine energy and my authenticity shine through that longer form content, which you don't get to do on Instagram. You don't get to do on TikTok. They really favor that short form, 15 seconds or less. Whereas YouTube, we have, I've got hour podcast episodes on there, one after the other. So they can really, they can really binge watch that before jumping on a call. And by the time they do, if they've watched that content, they are signed, sealed, delivered. Let's go.
That sounds amazing. I need to get onto
Yeah.
this, don't I? Absolutely. Where do you find the time, Brooke? Sorry.
Yeah, I go once a month and I film 4 episodes in that. So today was that time. So I was just there before this filming those episodes. And then that way you've got a lot of fresh ideas, and you only have to do it once per month, because it does. We have a whole team. Like, I think something that's important to note is most online businesses now are production companies, like they're media companies. They're really just pumping out content, which is value. It's like value, value, value. People need to trust you. They only trust you by the value that you give. No one's going to follow you if you're not giving value on your page.
Mm,
If you
mm,
are just showing up being like, hey, this is my business, this is what I do, but there's no value there, no one is going to follow you. So one of our mission, like part of our mission statement and one of our values that we are sure that we adhere to is we always lead with value.
mhm,
So whether that be through podcasting or whether that be through me showing up and normalize the fact that it's hard and I'm crying and I want you to see what the life is actually like. But by the time they get on a call with me, they know exactly what I'm about. And I'm only calling in the right people. In fact, I'm creating friction where I'm like, if this isn't you, keep scrolling. Like
mm.
go, go find another coach that you resonate with more. But this is me. This is what I'm about. And if they watch that content and they watch the videos and the webinars and all the things that I do, by the time they come through, they're ready to click to press go,
Mm,
which is, yeah, awesome.
amazing. Okay.
Get on YouTube.
Yeah. Well, funny enough, I did actually do one appearance. I did a thing for it was an acting thing actually, where you go and you're kind of in a panel and there's five of you and they have to guess who's the Nepo baby, which obviously wasn't me. So I did have that, and I've been waiting to put it on because it's funny, it's a bit of a skit basically. So I've been waiting to put it
Yeah.
up. So I'm hoping that's going to go woo, and if it does, there we go.
Any piece of content that showcases part of your personality that's outside of your business, because here's the
Yeah,
thing, you aren't your business, you are you, and when people come to you, it's because of you, it's not because of
yeah,
what you do, it's
yeah.
because of you. So I like to showcase everything, my family, my husband, the ups, the downs, because that's me and that's my life. And I know it's only a snippet of that, but it does create that trust and it does get people
Mm-hmm.
to buy into you, which is
Mm-hmm.
ultimately what's
Yeah,
so important in the days of AI, is that they need to know that you are real and that you are a
yeah,
human. So I think
yeah.
definitely post that video because it shows another side of you for sure.
One last question before we wrap this up is Pinterest. Is anyone on Pinterest? I struggle
Not
with it,
me.
but
Yeah.
it's something that I think is good for designers. So I'd like to just thank you both for this fascinating conversation. And you ladies really are rock stars. And I would I'd now love to introduce you to the U.S. market and do some launch type events with you. So what I'll do is we'll end here. Everybody, if you liked what you saw, follow Brooke and Becky. Please write us a comment. Tell us what you think. And we love it when you write comments and you tell us what you think and when you subscribe and share our videos. So thank you for that. And you are on Discover Brightside, where we discover new people and you discover new people. So we like to say that we've discovered you on our channel. So thank you for watching.